Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for mid-October 2023. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this By the Book card and this Truth Be Told card. I'm doing this, I'm shooting this video the day after the eclipse that was in Libra, and so you'll be watching this probably on Monday, 2 days after the eclipse. And what I would say is that this eclipse has a lot to do with like your own inner truth. This Truth Be Told card is about you just kind of like living your truth, whatever that means for you, and not like listening to other people. It seems to be like a big, kind of collective message with this eclipse. A lot of people have had it. You have the sun here as well. The sun, of course, is like the best card in the tarot, but the sun can also just represent like the truth. The sun shines a light on things that are important to you, or the sun can even try to capture your attention. The sun, when it shows up in a reading, it can be shining a light on something that needs to be paid attention to, something that you need to work on or move towards. So you could be feeling inspired with the sun. That's usually what we feel, I should say, with the sun, is we usually feel inspired by something, but we don't always feel, we don't always necessarily move towards inspiration. We probably should, but again, the problem with the astrology right now is inspiration doesn't make sense, because again, you might feel inspired to go to the beach, but it's like winter, so it's like, what the hell does it have to do with anything? And that's kind of like that's the time that we're in, is the conflict between the sun and the moon. I mean, I think this perfectly describes the time that we're in right now, these two cards showing up in your reading, because it's like, on one hand, again, we all may be feeling inspired to take a certain action or to move in a certain direction. On the other hand, maybe it doesn't make sense, or there's fears attached to it, or there's something we have to overcome. So we're definitely going to look at that here in your reading. But you have this By the Book card again, and this Truth Be Told card. I would get away from thinking that things have to go a certain way with the By the Book card. It just seems to me like, the universe is really trying to get people to break free from convention, break free from the way things have always been done. So don't be afraid, like, if your path kind of goes in an unconventional direction, or if you have to do things differently. You show up here. You have the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. The Emperor showing up in a reading like this puts you in a position of power and strength. So, it kind of just says that you're showing up in the energy, and you are here to kind of like make things happen. He's ready to go at a moment's notice. And we do see quick action in this reading. You have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords can represent taking a quick action. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I feel in this situation, in this reading, it looks like a good thing. If you are taking action on the sun, again, if you are taking action on your own inner truth, and if you're taking action on something that you feel inspired to do and excited to do with your life, it could be anything. For some of you, it could even be just moving, but it could be like to travel, to change your business, to change your job, to get into a new relationship. It doesn't matter what it is. Again, if you're moving towards the excitement, it's going to be good. If you're moving towards confusion, you're going to have a hard time. Really important this week that you only listen to yourself. I mean, I'm pretty sure this came up, this month, for the rest of the month, for really the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure this came up in your last weekly reading, is where I was going with this. I'm pretty sure I said the same thing, that you are in a time where it's really, really important that there are like two things that Aries has to focus on the most, I believe, right now, right? One is listening only to yourself. The other one is following through, completing something that you're working on and seeing it all the way through to the end, and not giving up before, if you find yourself always getting to a certain amount, like a certain point in whatever it is that you're working on, like maybe it's a certain amount of money, maybe you give up before 6 months on something or whatever. I think that that's the second most important thing for you to do, is to see something past that point, whatever it is, doesn't matter, right? And it could include just effort as well. It's like maybe all your relationships get to 6 months and then you break up. Why? Ask the question, why does this keep happening to me? Is it the type of person I choose? Is it me? Do I give up before this point? And I can't answer the question for you. Again, who the hell knows what it is? But I'm not suggesting that you stay in a relationship that's horrible or anything past that point. But I am suggesting, if that it is a relationship, if that's the issue here, then I would look at why it's happening, and try to figure it out. But the Nine of Pentacles, again, is very independent, pre-Empress energy, and I really feel that you are clearly increasing your earnings here. You have the Sand Dollar card coming up next, card of like abundance and creating more abundance. With the Emperor here, you have this bluff card. Again, I feel like you need to listen to yourself. This bluff card is about doing something that people think you can't do. And so, I really feel it's pretty simple that you could be doing something that people don't expect of you. But again, clearly, you're going to be successful right here. So there you go. With the Knight of Swords, you have this practicality card. Yeah, I would take the practical steps, to accomplish your sun. Wherever your attention, whatever is consuming your attention right now, I would say that's probably what you're working on in life. Whatever the dominant thoughts are when you wake up in the morning or throughout the day, what are you thinking about most? And, I think if you just take the practical, simple steps to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. Some of you could be trying to overcome an obstacle here. It's achievement right here. Some of you, maybe it's not an obstacle. You have the sun. So it could be a good thing as well that you're trying to accomplish. Doesn't matter. And the world just says you will accomplish it. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the speculation card. Kind of interesting. I do feel that there could be a person. If you want love, you end with the Two of Cups. So, there could be love coming in for you. I kind of feel either you are speculating about a person or, they're doing this to you. As in, maybe you have your eye on a person or they have their eye on you. And I feel like they're thinking about the possibilities, but doesn't look like it's moving yet to me. But again, if you want love, this is a very good card because it says that you could be meeting a person where it's there's a lot of abundance. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sea Sponge card. It says energetic absorption empath. Again, I would be only listening to yourself because, again, I think you're absorbing a lot of energy from people. You have the Sand Dollar card. It says manifestation, be open to receiving. Yeah, there's a lot for you to receive in this reading, and it's coming from the sun. So this is what I would focus on right here. You have the Moon and the Queen of Pentacles. We'll talk about the sun and the moon together here in just a minute, but the sun by itself, I feel like this is your victory. This is your win. We even see it here because you go Sun, World, Two of Cups. So it's this is your achievement. It doesn't have to be love. The Two of Cups could just be a perfect match. It could be something like an opportunity. I always say that I look at the Two of Cups as you and your higher self. And so it could be something that your higher self is guiding you towards or leading you towards, like an accomplishment, a goal, wish, dream. Doesn't really matter. And the sun says if you go in this direction, meaning you pay attention to your attention, then you will be very successful. It's crazy to me that, it's you and Taurus, which you're right next to each other, you always get these messages of your attention. We even have here the Hangman. And the Hangman is kind of saying, what are you waiting for? He has all the knowledge and wisdom he needs to move forward. He is hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. He's making the sacrifice so that he can gain knowledge and wisdom, but his head is glowing. He has everything he needs to start his journey. You have the sun and the moon here. I do feel like some of you could be still either holding on to or have dealt with a relationship where you just weren't meant to be with a person. It's oil and water type of situation. The sun and the moon together in a reading can represent two people who are just not meant to be together no matter what. And so for some of you, I feel that this is saying that you have dealt with that, in your recent past, maybe over the last year or so. And it looks to me like you're releasing this burden. This last row here represents the good stuff. Excuse me. So I feel like you're heading towards the good stuff here. You're kind of releasing something. You have the Queen of Pentacles as well. So definitely we see really good financial stuff right here. Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Even having the Six of Pentacles in the area of the good stuff says that there could be more, there's more fair abundance coming into your life. So, the abundance in your life could be becoming more fair. With the sun, you have the assertion card. This is the sun in Aries. So, again, you basically show up twice here in this reading, and I feel it's saying you have to take action. It's time to take action on the sun. Again, the sun is something that you've been thinking about. You're all different, so it's going to be different for all of you. With the moon, you have the riches card. Crazy. A lot of people have had this card, which is crazy to me. So clearly there's, opportunity for abundance. With the moon, it could say that the opportunity is in, some sort of mystery. The moon is part of the fool's journey, and he has to get to these mountains because the mountains kind of represent an achievement as well. So I feel for a lot of you that there could be a lot of opportunity in making a change in your life where you don't have all the answers. Again, this also comes up for Taurus a lot as well. So again, you two are very similar because you're right next to each other. And so I would say that, for a lot of you, it just seems to me like you are wanting to make a change in your life, but you just don't know all the details. And this is basically saying, do it anyway. Just start taking the steps. You'll figure it out. I think the secret is, it's like, no one knows what they're doing, right? It's like, even you ask any successful person, like, any of the world's billionaires and millionaires or whatever, it's like, I guarantee you they had no freaking clue what they were doing. They just did it. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have this flattery card. Again, I feel like you could be meeting a person where you see eye to eye. These two faces are facing away from each other, and these two are facing towards each other. And so I kind of feel that after being with a person where it's like maybe you are similar, but it's like you just can't be together because you're total opposites in some ways. I feel like you're meeting a person where you really see eye to eye here. I also feel this person, like, family is important to them as well. I think that's what will stand out to you. Because you have this turtle spirit, which says slow and steady wins the race. This is coming up in the area of what's coming in for you. And sorry, let me just fix that. You also have this wolf spirit, says turn knowledge into wisdom. But the wolf spirit also represents family. So again, I feel you could be attracting a person where family is important to them. You could have it could be a Gemini that's coming in for you, or it could be someone who has Gemini somewhere in their chart, because you have like a bunch of Gemini cards in the Oracle of the Radiant Sun here. But it could be any sign, take it how it resonates. But what I would say is family's probably important to this person. I feel like they're very driven and focused as well. It's funny that this says turn knowledge into wisdom, and like literally your first card is the Hangman, who is trying to gain knowledge and wisdom. He's trying to gain enlightenment. He has gained enlightenment. His head is glowing on this card. So he just needs to set himself free. He's made a sacrifice. He sacrificed movement. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs. So a lot of you could have, maybe you have been feeling stuck, but it's kind of weird because I do get this feeling that you are now feeling unstuck. You're feeling much more, much more free, or like you can move in the right direction. So I feel for a lot of you, you're kind of like getting unstuck now. You have the world. I kind of feel like the world is opening up to you here, or you're expanding your horizons. I think that's a good idea for you. I do see moving for a lot of you. I don't know if you're moving now or in the future, really. I mean, it's going to be different for all of you, obviously. But, again, this could be something that happens over the next year or so, right? So maybe you're not moving right now, but, in the future, I see it. I also feel that you are kind of like much more powerful when you live your truth, and this is going to allow you to create worlds. Again, this lady here, she is a sorceress, and the whole point of her is that she can create worlds. She can do this with the powers of manifestation. She has two wands. One is like the magician's wand. Again, she can use her powers of manifestation to manifest something. The other one is like more practical. Like she knows the steps to take to accomplish something, like the physical 3D steps, right? So it's kind of like, I think really you're kind of combining both, which is always a good idea, I believe. And, I think that could lead to a lot of success. You have the strength card here. The strength card is a card of strength. So I feel like you are very strong at this time. I feel like you could be accomplishing a lot. I feel like you're very driven as well. And, I would like nurture that drive. I would make sure that you're like rewarding yourself, that you're creating, you're celebrating your successes. I think that's one of the easiest ways to nurture your drive. Also practicing gratitude for your successes. I would be doing all that here, but I don't know, kind of weird message. It's like popping into my head as needing to nurture your drive, towards whatever it is you're working towards here. So let's see where this is going for you. Really good reading so far. I love it. With the Hangman, you have this isolation card. I kind of feel like either you are pulling someone out of isolation, or someone is pulling you out of isolation. It could be a Pisces as well. You have this Moon and the Hangman showing up here. Could be any sign. I mean, you have the World, which is Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Capricorn. Gemini stands out to me. So, like I said, it could be any sign. But regardless, I feel like you are pulling someone out of isolation, or someone's pulling you out of isolation. So maybe you've had a little bit of a dry spell. Could be a Libra as well, because I think I just said that to Libra. With the World, you have this friendship card. You could be meeting someone long distance and like starting as friends, and then maybe it goes from there or develops from there. So, that's definitely a possibility. I also feel like if you're trying to grow, specifically like a business or in your career, that there are people in your community who want to help you. So, I would allow that to happen. And, I would just get to work on that, developing relationships or increasing your relationships. With the Strength card, you have this Restlessness card. This is Mercury in Aries as well. So, a lot of you could be having restless thoughts, or you could be feeling very restless. But what I would say is I would channel it into something. Like, don't just be restless. Again, to me, as far as I'm concerned, restlessness is probably one of the most destructive energies that exist, other than guilt. I think guilt is the most destructive. But, what I would say here is that I feel like restlessness is something that can be channeled. So, if you're feeling restless and you don't know what to do a puzzle, go for a walk, go do something. You have to get that energy out of you. And, it just swirls around, creates confusion, right? So if you're feeling restless, do something with it. Finally, in the area of the good stuff, you have this fleeting card. It says you're in a transition phase of your career. I feel like you're in a big transition phase in general. It says you're trying to make something work when you know it's not for you. This is showing up in the area of the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. But I do feel some of you need to realize that it's like you're trying to get something to work, which is probably the moon, when you should be focusing on the sun. You have this card that says you're pushing yourself to exhaustion. Enjoy yourself in between all your hard work. Yes. I definitely feel that you need to slow things down. I feel like there are, there are things that you can do to take some of your time back and take some of your energy back. And I would focus on those things. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Cups. Six of Pentacles is, showing up in the good stuff again. Tells me that there's more fairness coming in for you financially. So if there have been issues or challenges financially, it looks to me like you are, it's like you're doing something to improve things financially, or you're doing something to, balance things out financially with the Six of Pentacles. With the Ten of Wands, again, I feel like you have been carrying some heavy burdens, and you are probably releasing these things. On a very simple level, it's almost as if this reading is just saying you're simplifying your life by living your truth. And, it's like there are a lot of little things that I think people don't think about where that's preventing them from living their truth. It's like if you're doing things that you hate, of course, there are always things that, that you are going to have to do. There are always responsibilities that you cannot avoid. But it's like the ones that you can't avoid, how can you make them fun? How can you make them enjoyable? And the ones that you don't need to be doing, the responsibilities that you don't need to have, it's like, how can you get rid of them? How can you change them? How can you upgrade them? I'd be asking those questions with the Ten of Wands. You have the Two of Cups here. Definitely could be a perfect match coming in for you. If you have your eye on a person, I feel like this person literally is a perfect match. It's kind of funny because it's popping into my head as, like, it seems a little bit impossible. Again, you might be interested in a person who's, like, out of reach in some way, or, maybe it just seems a little bit hard to be with this person. Maybe they're super busy, or you're friends, with this friendship card or something like that. But, again, I feel like if you go towards this person, they are also interested in you, especially if this is like a friend. So, there you go. Let's see. With the Six of Pentacles, you have this ostentation card. This is a card of being able to tell the difference between what's real and fake. But again, it's funny you have the Six of Pentacles. So, it's almost like you're getting to a more practical position in life where, your things are just working, or you're working on things that are just working is kind of what I'm getting here. With the Ten of Wands, you have this Fortune card here. Yeah, I definitely feel there are good fortunes coming in for you. And funny enough, this is the sun in Leo, which would be the sun. And there's a gigantic sun right here. So I feel like the sun is shining on you. And I feel like you could be getting a lot of attention. I feel like if you do your own thing, again, your readings are just very simple, Aries, which is a good thing, and it's not something that is a problem, right? I would just focus on one thing, which is your own truth, like not listening to other people, living your life. Because again, I think you'll be surprising people by what you're able to accomplish, like over the next year, 6 months, something like that. So I feel like you'll be surprising people by what you accomplish. But, I think the challenge is doing it, number one, and believing that you know what to do with the turn knowledge into wisdom as well. Because I think a lot of you, it's like you do know what to do, but you're telling yourself you don't. You just have to take the steps. With the Two of Cups, you have the Devotion card. Yeah, I mean, this is my Till Death Do Us Part card. Look, there's like a dead bird, and this bird is grieving the loss of its partner. So, again, there really could be like a person who's very serious about you coming in for you here, Aries, as well. We're going to pull 5 main themes and see what is coming up for you here. And that'll be that. You have this camel. It says, persevere and you will overcome obstacles. Didn't we say something about persevering or something? I would just, keep pushing. I feel like you're very close to success. I'm also getting that, like, if you've been doing something for years, it's time to take it to the next level. I feel like it's really time for you to, upgrade it in some way. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. Yeah, I think this is the moon energy, little things getting in the way, not knowing what your next step should be. If you don't know what to do, research it. Plain and simple. Learn what you should do next. You have this older man card. It says dealings with relationships with an older man. I always clarify these man-woman cards. You have this whale card. It says great worry over nothing. I feel like you need to be careful of people in your life who are putting their worries on you. Plain and simple. Like I literally said this to Taurus. Again, I think you should, if you have Taurus in your chart, I would go watch that reading. Very similar. If you're a Taurus rising or, something like that, you have a bunch of planets in Taurus, go watch it because, it's very similar. And again, I feel like what the problem is you have people that are like, oh, don't take this risk to go start this business or to go be in a relationship with that person. It's like they're trying to protect you, but I also feel like they're worrying about your life when it's your life, not theirs. So there you go. You have this August card. It says, then, I always clarify these monthly cards. It says solid foundation, success with effort. I feel like a change happened in August. You did something new in the month of August. I'm also getting July as well. So it could have been July or August where maybe you did something new or you kind of started to upgrade your business, your career. And I feel like you need to keep pushing. It's like you're about to be very successful if you push. You have this hammock. It says take a vacation physically or mentally. I feel like you need a vacation. So, if you can't go on vacation, staycation is good as well. Pretty good reading. Again, I think people are going to be surprised by your results in the future, but this looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.